Well, all right. We're back on this pine body. It's been all glued up. Before I go trimming off the ends and stuff here, I got my template. This is a pretty much what it's going to be like is right here. Looks like we just made it side to side there. And this is my own body design. The back butt part of this is, or the bow, what do you want to call it? That's my 71 Les Paul custom. And the top part is one of my Tellys that I own. And what I did is I shortened the horn up here. The traditional Telly horn comes out further. So I brought it in this way a little bit. When I made this, I thought I was the only one that did that, but there's about a dozen or more guys that's made the same kind of thing. So you can call it a round belly Telly or or Les Paul Telly. I don't know, whatever you want to call that. But I like the design, and I've made several guitars with this now, and that's what I'm going to do with this one. So what I'm going to do is get this, what we need to do is get us a center line made here in the center first. You always want to work off center lines, so I need to grab my rulers and stuff so we can do that. I'm looking for it. There it is. So what we're going to try and do is come up with a center line for this. And everything's so dusty from not being used. Like I said on the last video or two, it's been a while since I've been out here. Let me go get my eyeballs on. What I'm after is I want to get this drawn out on here so I know how much excess wood I can cut off. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to try and center this off. I'll show you what kind of ruler I'm using. This, I used to be in the printing. I used to own my own print shop. I've ran many different kinds of printing presses. This is what they call a pica rule. It has millimeters, inches, at-gat gauge on there, you know, all that stuff, 12 points. But man, that thing comes in handy when you want to find center on stuff. Just like this one here, I'm going to use this millimeter side of it. I've had this ruler since the 70s. I've got a couple of these laying around the house. And like I said, it makes it real easy to measure things out, and I need easy because of my brain issues. So we're going to mark this off here a little bit. Now take this other long ruler and draw me a line. If I can find my marks. Here's one. And we're going to do the other mark. So we're going to mark this off. Oh, another thing too, when you're drawing with your pencil, if you'll turn it as you're making your mark like that, it'll keep your point sharp and it won't flatten it out so fast. Keep you having to resharpening all the time. So now, since we got our center mark, we're going to put this up here. I think I'm going to put it up here as close as I can. So like I said, I want to go cut some of this off on the top and cut a lot of this other stuff off the bottom. Check your sides, make sure you're centered pretty good. And I'm going to draw this on here. So how are you all doing out there today? Got any projects going on? So now what I'm going to do is take this over to my table saw and cut some of this excess wood off. And then we'll go from there. And probably after that, I'm just going to go ahead and sand this down. I should have done that first probably, but I'm going to sand it down and get it ready to make my top, my drop top on this, because I don't think this is quite thick enough for a guitar body. Let's find out. I have never measured the side of it yet. Yeah, it's well under that 1.5-inch mark. I don't care what they say, 2x4s are not 2x4s. There ain't no way that board started out being 2 inches thick when I started. And so anyway, I don't know if that came out on camera or not. Let's redo that part. I want to make sure you guys see what I'm seeing. See, here's your 1.5 inch, and it's almost an 1/8 under that. And like I said, there's no way a 2x4 is an actual 2x4 anymore. And it's been many years since I've seen an actual 2x4. But so I'm gonna go set the table saw up, cut this excess wood off of here, and then I'll bring you back in and let you see how I do that. Alrighty, here we go. We're going to cut this, start here, cut this end off, and I'll flip it around, cut the other side. And we're going to hope for the best here. You always want to make sure your table saw blade so we're not quite high enough. You just want to make sure that it protrudes out of the top there. I see a lot of guys bring their table saw blade up really high, and you don't need to do that. In fact, it's not safe to do that. All right, here we go. There's that. Well, I lightened it up a lot. Let's see where this takes us. We have it. Pretty thin cut right there. But at least now it's nice and square. I could cut off some more off the butt here, but I think we're just going to leave it for now. And see what's being shown here. Take it back over the table. There we go. So there we have it. Uh, all trimmed up anyway. Like I said, now I'll take the sander over it, sand this hump out of the middle, and then I'll redraw that out later. Probably what I'm going to do is redraw it out, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut my control cavity in here, and so it goes all the way through, and then we'll glue the top on. That way it keeps me from having to route again and again, and or too much anyway. And then I'll wherever I figure out where the pickups are going, then we'll route a slot out in it there, and probably a slot in it here somewhere for the wires, because I'm going to put the switch and 2 controls here, the volume and tone here, 3-way switch right here, and so I need a access hole here for wires and another one here for wires, and so I'll do all that first, and then we'll glue the top on, and that'll leave us a channel here to work from when we're putting in our pickups. And that's before I go cutting the body out and stuff like that. And probably what's going to happen is once the top is glued on, then I'm going to route out possibly for the pickups. Go ahead and route them out. I'm going to ask for some help. I don't know if anybody out there wants to help me out or not. I need a neck for this thing, and I don't know if any of you out there have got an extra neck or something that you could either sell me on the cheap or donate it to me, and I'll give you a shout out on my channel here for helping me out. I don't have very much money these days because of doctor bills and stuff are eating me alive. Yeah, I'm on Social Security, but it's not free. So anyway, if somebody out there can help me out, that'd be great. If not, no big deal. I'll figure something out. I may end up buying a kit guitar because it's cheaper to do that, and then I'll just resell what I don't use out of the kit. And like I said, I have all the other parts. I've got pickups, I've got the pots, I got the switch, I got tuners, I got the bridge, I got all that. I just need a neck for this now. But if anybody out there can help me, that, like I said, sure greatly be appreciated. But we'll see what y'all do. Alrighty, on to the top now. It looks like I'm going to have to make it out of 3 pieces. I just didn't have enough scrap spalted poplar over there to do what I need to do over here. And what I'm going to do is take the centerpiece here and run it through my thickness planer to get that roughness off of there. It looks like it's almost pretty. I have to run these through the joiner planer. Yeah, I have to run these through the joiner planer. This one's already been done on that one side. Probably ought to do all that first and then see if I've got enough wood there to make this top. It feels like I should have. But anyway, it's going to be 3 pieces that'll have to be glued together here, and we'll go from there. I'll bring you back in when I get more. Alright, again, this is my jointer planer by Wien. It's really a great little machine if you have small projects. I do not recommend it if you are into huge production stuff. It just doesn't, it won't do what you want it to do. And if you're gonna do stuff like that, you might as well invest in a floor model. Because I move around quite often. This is as long as I've lived anywhere. Been here 4 years now. And so that was another reason why I bought the tabletop version. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try and put these through the thickness planer. I had to get this a little flatter than what it was. And I'll probably go ahead and put all 3 pieces through so I can get them all pretty much the same. All right, got all them planed. And now we're going to glue this up, and I think it'll be just fine, be mighty fine. That'll be interesting. This part here will all be under pickups and strings, so that should be okay. I wonder which end. Yeah, let's do this end here. I'm gonna find my glue. Find my clamps. Anyway, I think I mentioned it before, this will probably be my last scratch built body. I know I won't be building any more scratch built guitars, and I have given my woodworking equipment to my son who lives in Maryland, and he'll be coming to get this stuff towards the end of summer. So I have a little bit of time here to do one more project, and I just want to share what I'm doing with y'all. I know some of you like what I do, and some of you don't, and that's fine. If you don't like what I do, then just move on and go somewhere else. But just like in other videos, I'm going to squirt some glue on here. Some of you guys out there that are doing videos right now, currently, you need to bite the bullet and buy you a drill press. Golly, people. You try drill stuff and by hand, and it never will come out right. It don't always come out right with a drill press. And you really need, I don't care how many days some of you guys say work on your guitars, but you really need just to stop and think what you're doing before you do it. I don't mean to sound like I'm getting on to you, but I am. I don't care what you're working on. Eventually you're going to need a drill press of some kind. Harbor Freight has some really good deals on drill presses. The one I've got is a 16 speed, and I love that drill press. I had a Shop Fox drill press at one time. Cost me 5 times the money. for that, and I don't think it did as good as this one does from Harbor Freight. And how many of you out there know that your drills and stuff, router bits and all that, has speeds that they're supposed to be set at? Until I learned that trick, I was always having tear outs and everything else. And I started using this recommended speeds, and presto chango, things started changing. What a difference. So I have my drill press set up for wood bits right at the moment, but it can drill metal, it can drill anything I want it to. Alrighty, so here we go. We got the glue on. Now we're going to glue all that together. I'm going to go over here and get my rags. On my rags, I had a red and blue box. I can't remember who I got it from. I think it was Lowe's or Home Depot or somebody. This last box I got from Sam's Club. And the rags, and it's a yellow box. In the yellow box, the rags aren't as big. And so I was kind of disappointed in that. I like the bigger rags. But they'll do for what I got to do right now anyway. So I'm going to lift that up. Bring this in. Wife's out grocery shopping right now, so I don't have any help. I'm having to figure out how to do this on my own today. There we go, that'll work. And again, I keep emphasizing this, because I see it all the time on YouTube, where you guys start to clamp up wood and just crank away on it. It's like, golly, squeeze all the glue out. But you don't have to clamp things that hard to get where you want to go. Honestly, you don't. Glue is like any other tool you use. You got to let it do its job. And squeezing it harder is not going to let it do its job. I think I'm going to grab me a couple of these smaller clamps. We're going to do this. This way it'll keep things hopefully a little flatter to each other. Yeah, that's another tool you can never have enough of, are clamps. Seems like you always need more clamps. Again, I'm not a salesman for Harbor Freight, but if you want to buy some clamps at work, Harbor Freight has them. And a lot cheaper than spending 20 or 30 bucks a clamp. I've had these now for several years. They're working fine still. Yeah, it's a hot, balmy day today. We got that fan on. And for whatever reason, my cell phone likes to pick up on that noise. Anyway, there we have it. I'll let this sit and dry for a few hours, and I'll come back out. We'll take the clamps off. I doubt if I'll do any more today because it's heating up out here, and I can't stand the heat. But if you're enjoying what I'm doing, subscribe and give me a thumbs up. You all be at peace, and I'll see you. What is this? This is going to be part 3. So I'll see you on part 4. But please, if you have an old guitar neck laying around, a decent one now, come on, don't send me your absolute junk. 'Cause I can't refret it. I can't do any of that. So I don't have no longer have fret wire sitting around that I can use. So I need something that I can at least fret level and recrown and polish. I don't mind doing that. But as far as replacing the frets, I don't want to have to buy fret wire and all that. And trying to keep the cost down as much as I can on this. Again, this is just one of my builds, just for something to do. And I just thought, well, heck, I'll show you guys how I do some of this stuff. Been a while, so anyway, I'll be talking to you.